Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our program today, and we're really very grateful that we're able to make it and to have a very good timing in our meeting. Well, to a whole lot of people who doesn't know why we're here, this is an organization called Aesda. Full meaning of Aesda is African Entrepreneur and Socio-Economic Development. Now, I was talking about Aesda the other time. This is African Entrepreneur and Socio-Economic Development Association. And we will like for everyone to subscribe to our YouTube page. A lot of things are coming up. We have a mega program coming up from major banking institutions in Africa, job opportunities, and so many things, that will benefit you and benefit our community and benefit our country. This is just not limited to Nigeria, in particular, but this is also Africa as a whole. So let's forget that when we lack information, when there is no information, then we can experience transformation. The bedrock of every transformation begins with information. We got to have our mind informed. Case in point, somebody can give you a gift of an aircraft. Somebody give you a plane, an aircraft. If there is no pilot, if you don't go to aviation school, or you don't have a pilot, you can never fly that jet. That jet will become a burden to you. You know the reason for that? You lack information, you lack insight. So it's not a negotiable factor. We all need to be driven with information. So I really want you to go there right now. Go and subscribe. We have a lot of things going on, and we have a lot of international opportunities that's been open to us, because this is just coming. It's a collegiate of people that have a transformative ideas, and they are really they're really pressing and driving towards that. And so I really want everybody to take advantage of that right now. Hypothetical example, they have something like, okay, $500,000 naira, Nigeria, not in Ghana, not what I'm talking about, Nigeria right now, or $1 million naira. If you have some profitable ideas or business ideas, they want to be an investor in that. They will supply the money, and you will supply what you're doing, and there'll be so a whole lot of stuff. But if you're not a part of it, you don't know nothing about it, then you keep complaining, and so many of us, answers are here right for us. We have results, we have answers for us, but we're just not informed. I don't want us to say we're laid back, and that's not Nigerians are very hardworking people, especially the generation that I'm talking about. So I'm going to reiterate, I'm going to say it again. Get on those information bases. The next one is a biggie one. Some people just say, okay, one thing, I want to help this person who is into IT, whatever it is, and he's very productive. So I have a 2 million naira that I want to start a business with this person, shareholder thing, and you're not there, and you're going to be complaining, when results are there. So let's take note of that. Our email is sec.aesda@gmail.com. So let's get hold of that right now. A little bit of this platform today is we're talking about national transformation strategy. We're not going to just be talking about the government didn't do this, the government didn't do that. We're not only the nation where it seems as if wealth are not well distributed, and not everybody is having access to the national cake. In spite of our problem that we recognize, we can still triumph and thrive, especially for this present generation. Very hardworking, very informative, technological, grounded. We have a lot of advantage. So that's why it's important to know that transformation is the key. Now, when we talk about transformation, before I introduce the beautiful panels that we have, we're talking about a vision. We need to have a vision, because there's no transformation without a vision. And a project. Now we have a decade gone. 10 years is gone right now, and this decade is ending up on for some people on coronavirus, which brought a lot of dirge to so many people in the West. And we are very thankful that right there in Africa, we don't have too much casualty, although a lot of things are affected. We know that. But I want to let you know that in the midst of this, a lot of people just bubbling. It's an opportunity for them. For example, the company, there are individuals that are making face mask right now, face mask that have the logo, that have the trademark, and they're making money. They're making a lot of money out of this pandemic. Technology is going on. For example, this technology we're using right now, Zoom. You want to know the level of Zoom in the stock market, what they carry right now because of this. Many of you're not used to zooming before. I'm telling you, the profitability inside calamity. Why others are looking at it from another view and say it's dark, it's this and that. You see what's coming up out of it, And so I like you to check that out. It's not just the dark. So we have another decade in front of us, another 10 years, God willing. We have another 10 years in front of us, 2020 to 2030. That's the vision. Can we have a national transformation? I mean, Nigeria as a whole. We've witnessed a lot of things. We're just, getting healed from the bruise of end SARS movement. But we're not going to be just talking about all those negative. Now, we literally have a transformation with a project, with a vision of providing economic well-being for all Nigerians. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We're going to be positive. We don't no more be negative. It's possible. We can literally do this, and that's why you're here. And that's why you are born for such a time as this. That's why this is your generation, and that's my generation. Now, there is a roadmap for economic growth and national development for Africa, and Nigeria in particular, through a thriving economy, a peaceful society, and a visionary nation. A visionary nation. And the nation is the people. The nation is not the geographical nation alone. We are the people, you, myself. We are the people. All right? So we need to learn how to accelerate the implementation of primary and digital infrastructure projects, which is the key. Now, briefly, I believe the achievement of any transformation is anchored on multi-stakeholder partnership that mobilizes and share knowledge, expertise, share technology, the share financial resources. That's what can bring us transformation. Multi-stakeholder, not just one person, not just the government. Of course, there are fundamental changes needed in policy, institutions, and mindset within, the populace that need to transform Nigeria from an economy based around the management of oil. Everything that our major focus has always been the oil. Oh, no. We need to begin to, what if, Elon Musk right now, the owner of Tesla, and many other companies, they are working on electric powered cars. And the implication of that. When we begin to power our transportation and all the things through electricity, through the wind, through another form of energy rather than oil, what impact will that have on our own economy that is only dependent on oil? You can imagine. So we need to begin to transform from just being based on oil to a competitive productivity, efficiency, and openness to the world. And the questions are, is this the time to move from dependence upon oil, dependence upon government, dependence upon government? Government must do this. Government must produce this. Government don't do this. Government did not do that. We don't have a good government. Government don't provide a job. Government don't provide me this. Government don't provide me a house. Yes, that's needed. But are we supposed to now begin to drift from just depending on our oil, really, even if you depend on oil, nothing is coming down to the populace. Not much, even if anything is coming. Depending upon oil or government, or now we need to begin to make concerted, serious strides towards economic diversification. When are we going to begin to generate national income from being competitive, productive, and efficient, rather than from the consumption of our good fortune of oil? Thank God we are blessed with it. But you think it's going to be forever? I believe it's time to open up our country to investors, to visit us, in the process, creating a vibrant economy and society integrated into global economy. All of us, we must enable Nigeria to be independent, self-reliant, entrepreneurial in spirit, business-minded people, rather than dependent upon the state, and transforming the role of government from control to facilitation. So the government is only acting as a facilitator, not controlling what we do. I mean, major parastatals in some of the nations in the West are literally in the hands of individuals, of stakeholders, not even in government. I mean, energy supply, I mean, water supply, I mean, education, I mean, even airport system. And so that's why I have this knowledgeable panelist to really answer some questions for us. And you're free to answer your questions. We're going to be checking the chats out to really inform us and give us a lot of opportunity. We have our panelists. We have Mrs. Teju Abisoye. She's a government executive at Lagos Employment Trust Fund. Teju Abisoye is a lawyer with extensive experience in development finance, project planning, execution, monitoring, and evaluation of humanitarian projects, government interventions, and investment opportunities. Prior to joining LSETF, she served as the director of UN, where she was responsible for managing consultants nationwide to providing training, monitoring, and evaluation for a minimum of at least 1,200 or 1,200 awardees annually. Please join me in welcoming and appreciating Mrs. Teju Abisoye. One more panelist, Mr. Adetayo Bamiduro. He is the co-founder of Max.ng. Mr. Adetayo Bamiduro co-founded Max.ng primarily to transform mobility and logistics across Africa using mobile technology. EM Logistics uses motorbikes, GPS-enabled maps, and route optimization technology to make intra-city deliveries. Its venture trains and employs hundreds of young workers. That's beautiful. That's job production, employment production, searching for opportunities in Africa's fastest growing and most populous city. Mr. Adetayo has entrepreneurial experience in technology and energy sectors, and he has worked in Nigeria's banking and manufacturing industries. Adetayo Bamiduro volunteers for the FATE Foundation and has established community development initiatives that educate and empower young aspiring entrepreneurs across sub-Saharan Africa. Aesda, join me in welcoming Mr. Adetayo Bamiduro, co-founder of Max Nigeria, NG. Put it up together. We appreciate you. We are really very grateful for finding time out of your very, very busy schedule to be a part of this wonderful program. Now, for those who join us, this is Aesda, African Entrepreneur and Socio-Economic Development Association. It's an organization that's just centered around investing in Africa of today for a better Africa tomorrow. This is just about development, and we're putting heads together to see how we can be entrepreneurial and also create employment, and not just be looking onto government, you know, and even as an empowerment. You know, government becomes something that we use to just empower ourselves for better strides. Now, we have some questions here right now, and of course, we're going to take some questions from the chat. Now, Mrs. Abisoye, I have a question for you, please. And the question is, what does national transformation look like for Nigeria, and what are the potential financial impacts? I'm going to give you about between 4 to 5 minutes for this particular program, and we're very time conscious, and I'm really very grateful that you're able to team up with us. Let me repeat again. What does national transformation look like, especially for our country, Nigeria? You want to extend that also to Africa? And what are the potential financial impacts of national transformation? Mrs. Abisoye, please.
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening, Doctor. Thanks for having me. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Teju Abisoye. I'm the Executive Secretary at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So I'm just going to quickly speak a bit about what we do and what the implications of our agency does to national transformation. I think what is critical that we all recognize, and I think you've said a lot, is yes, Nigeria's economy is diversified. It's government revenues that need to get more diversified, and I think that's the reality. So yes, oil is still the major source of government revenue, taxes, but then how do we make sure that we increase productivity for small businesses so that our revenues even get more diversified for the government? So basically, we at the Employment Trust Fund, where our job is to create employment, we recognize the importance of enterprises in job creation all over the world. The small businesses create more jobs than the big corporations. And something is clear, even in Nigeria, the research has been very clear that large corporations destroy jobs while small businesses are net providers of jobs. So they create jobs. Micro enterprises then fail simply because most of the time they don't have access to finance, affordable finance. They don't have the right documents or the support they need to be able to have access to good finance so that they can build their business. In the US, for example, you are aware of the small business associations whose only job is to make sure small businesses thrive within the economy. So Lagos State remains the is the commercial center for Nigeria, and which is arguably the most populous city, largest growing economy in Africa. You know, so when you think about it, we're set up to make sure that the government is enabling small businesses do work effectively, so that first there's ease of doing business in the entire state, and then they have access to the kind of funding they need to be able to generate jobs. Now, when you give access to funding, what we're saying is increase productivity, so that when you increase productivity, you need more hands. Therefore, you are going to employ more people. That's the theory of change for us at LSCTF. But more importantly, when you need this more hands or the jobs, the skills are available in the market. So we also train people to take up jobs that are available in the market. And the third thing which we do is encourage technologists, tech startup companies to thrive and the ecosystem develop. First, by providing access to the tech infrastructure for small businesses that they need to do their business, do their work, access to talent, and then we match them to investors as well. So it's very critical that when you talk about national transformation, I think when we talk business, it's critical because economically, it's almost like the grassroots or the foundations for any other thing to build on. If you have a nation full of that is extremely poor and waiting on aid, you've created a disaster. You're never going to be able to see the kind of transformation. Somebody else is going to dictate what kind of transformation you want. But I think something that you said that is also very critical is the fact that this is also we must recognize the fact that it's also about everybody's participation. So if you take a loan and you go and use it for a holiday, or you take a loan to go to Canada, you're not helping national transformation. So when we talk about national transformation, there's also a responsibility on every one of us to be involved, to do what we know how to do best. And I think critically for me, as in the space where we work, is to encourage and promote innovation. Young people's ability to think outside the box, to say, look, we can create solutions, locally grown solutions for problems or social issues, that things we've seen in our neighborhood. And it starts by just being attentive to the challenges and being able to prefer solutions. I like my co-panelist, Tayo, and Tayo, I always tell Tayo that, I think the work they're doing is really transformational in the economy. You take a challenge like, and I think I should leave the thunder to him. You take a challenge like Okada and you find a solution to making it, make it more beneficial to the entire economy. Let me leave the thunder to him to share more details. But I think it's a holistic responsibility of both citizens and government. Government can only enable. It's now for the citizens to take advantage of what the government has provided and run with it. Create those businesses, make sure they thrive, find collaborations, find mentorship, anything that can help that business thrive. Let me end by saying this. Let me just conclude by talking about UWIN. And some people may know about it. So it was a federal government project where Youth with Innovation, and was sponsored by federal government, the World Bank, DFID UK, and it was to promote innovation amongst young people. Now, some of the data has shown that because the government created that program, there were, between the years of 2010 and 2014, there were 3 million new micro-enterprises registered in Nigeria alone. That's the kind of thing this government can do. Create that structure, the environment. That's the best the government can do, is people that must take advantage of what the government has provided. Thank you very much.
That's really very technical and very direct. And I'm really very grateful for that. And I think something is wrong somewhere. We have good populace in terms of youth, agile, vibrant, they're willing to do good stuff. But if somebody has asked, how can Nigerians youth play their role in national transformation, which I believe you mentioned a little bit, but I want you to look at it from this perspective. Is there something wrong with us when it comes to insight? For example, somebody look at the trees and say we can make tables from it, we can make beddings from it. Somebody look at the oil and say, okay, yeah, we can make gasoline and stuff. Aluminum, we can use something for aircraft. Is there something wrong with our creativity because of technology? Or I'm talking about our youth right now. People invest in getting 3 phones, in watching stuff. And I appreciate the fact that we are moving in a very greater dimension in terms of Hollywood, Nollywood, entertainment. But that's good. But what about our critical thinking, analytical thinking, looking at a problem like Mr. Aditayo did, looking at opportunities in every problem. Where did we put our thoughts? Where are we? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with waste management? What are we going to do with all this problem we talk about? Our pollution, environmental pollution and all that. Could we create opportunity? Children, begging on the streets, whatever. Is there something we can come out of it? Or government? I want you to direct your answer to the youth right now, please, who have the energy, who have the passion, who just graduated from school, you know, not just like, I graduate, government must get me a job, government get me a job, government get me a job. Please go ahead.
Dr. Sai, let me, before I go to, and I think the number of things that we have missed as a government, and I'll tell you one, is the fact that we don't have a functional labor market information system. Yeah. And what do I mean by that? Because of, if we had correct data, we will not be in the, we won't be in what the structure of the mess we're in right now as a nation. And let me give a bit of background into what I mean. So today, across the nation, they graduate 5,000 lawyers a year. How many do we need? How many new lawyers do we need annually? We should ask ourselves. But in the medical, in the health sector, we need critical staff in the health sector, and we're not making provision to fill those positions. So when we think about it, if we had been planning, so I just want to kind of, and I'm coming back to your question, where we recognize what is needed in the country, and we plan to only train what we need. So instead of just training 5,000 lawyers, and I need only 100 lawyers, the cutoff for law for that year will be 390 over 400. Only the 100 that can meet that cutoff will go into law school. Simple. Then you take the the health sector, and create a structure where more people don't have a choice. Once you can't get into law school, you need to go to the areas where the staff, the critical mass is needed, and create a lower band of pass marks, but increase the intensity of the training, knowing fully well that you have lowered the pass marks so that more people can go into that space to get the training, and do all these structures where you then increase the training so that there are more people in that field to be trained, that are being trained and churned out for the particular sector. When you're training people to think, to do that for you, you're also training them to think, to solve the problems in those sectors. We cannot train people with the structure we have today and want them to think for themselves. Pardon me, I'm not saying, I'm trying to say this so that you understand that, look, what we have created is also the structure that we have that has created where we are in today. You have a few people coming outside that block, and pardon me to say this, a lot of the people that have built solutions in Nigeria, Paystack, MaxNG, WeCyclers, you name those solutions, they've left Nigeria and gone to study abroad, and they've challenged their thinking. So we're getting into a situation where we're training people not to think by regurgitating notes to them and telling them, go and pass exam. What a training or an education should do is teach you to think. So we're now by virtue of what I also do, we have to create programs that solve problems of unemployment in Nigeria. And the challenge is, even as you're thinking through the solutions, you're looking for people to understand, and it's sometimes a challenge to understand the connection from this to this and why this is so critical to this. And it is sometimes a challenge. But what I would say to young people is, they're in the midst of all of this. There's still that silver bullet. There's still some people. I don't know if anybody has heard about Osh, the guy Koniku. This is a Nigerian trained, Unilag born bred, who then went to work in Geneva and is now created this, Koniku is some system for sensing bombs, cancer, anything. It's a sensory equipment, really powerful, contracts with Airbus, airports across the world. But the idea for me is, look, we need to sit to ourselves and say, you know what, maybe we're not waiting to have Koniku's ideas. But maybe there's a solution for teaching that you might sense from the issues with the way you were taught. Are there solutions around what your siblings, what your mother is going through with her work that, I have a solution around this that I think somebody needs to hear. Mommy, you can't be doing this thing this way. Because you might think it has to be a big business. But sometimes those solutions start from just trying to solve a problem for somebody will create a business for you to solve the problem for multiple people across the nation. And the idea for me is don't keep quiet, no matter how simple it sounds, no matter how, even to the people around you saying, oh gosh, is that all you can think about? At least find somebody else that would listen to you. So, we have a program in Lagos State Employment Trust Fund under the Innovate program, where we call an idea hub, where people take their ideas, go into the hub to meet mentors to help them shape those ideas into businesses. Because we recognize that whether we like, there's still people here who have some ideas. Yes, they might be dubbing it from somewhere or something, but it's about research, looking, being attentive, sit down, thinking it through in depth. If you can't build it into a business, find the support to help you build it into a business. Now, the idea might not go far, but make sure you try first. And don't just dump it and say, no, there's nothing useful here. Once you can see that you solved the problem for one person, that thing might be your next $1 million answer to, any issues you are having. Don't give up on it. Look at it. Find the people that can help you build it and structure it into something more bigger than you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're going to help us with one or two questions more, please, please. No, I mean, if you look at the comment, folks are just, they're draining from this and they're just blessed. Now, yes, you said something really that's, provoke our thoughts, and that is in the area of, and I know that's hypothetical, in terms of lawyers and the medical doctors and wherever it is, in the West, for example, in the US, a lot of people come in here and they have the idea, okay, even the men, they're going to nursing because, US needs, especially now during coronavirus. I'm telling you, even student nurse are making a lot of money. It doesn't matter. There are many people that are in the medical field who are yet to graduate, from after medical school, they're going into some starting programs, but they say, for now, it really doesn't matter. Just begin to practice, of course, under guidance, because of the need. Now, somebody has said something here. He said, it will kill, let me read that off. He said, it will kill people's dream if you cut off, if some cutoff marks are so high. I want to talk about that. And also I want to match that with also resources. I got this idea, beautiful. And you talk about people that fine tune, ideas. What about investors? Sometimes, you have this thing, and before you even get resources, somebody has jumped into it and the thing is just dead, you're discouraged. How do we start? Okay, somebody gave me 10,000 naira. I need $1 million naira. What am I going to do with that? So please, can you just help me put these two questions together?
Okay,
the answers.
Thank you. So let me just say two things about the person who said, well, why do you kill dreams? And I'm going to ask him a question. What's your dream supposed to do? To put food on your table, or you just want to have a dream that sounds good and feels good for you? You have to ask that yourself. You have to ask yourself those real questions. And I'll tell you what I mean. If I learn something for 5 years, I'm a lawyer, by the way, so I'm not saying nobody should go and read law, but I'm just trying to explain something. If I had stayed in law, would I be doing the work I get to do now? No. And it was a dream, and that's why I went to study the law. It was a dream that sounded very beautiful. I wanted to do, but I'm going to explain to you. It's about thinking, and it's all about the thinking process as well. Yes, you have a dream. It's good to have a dream. But then what is the purpose of your dream? So if your dream doesn't get you to the end, you should rethink what your steps or your plans are. So if you dream to be a lawyer, maybe by the time you're done and you're at 60, you can still go to law school and get a wig and gown and take the picture that you want. But then you might find that you are more fulfilled in what you got to do because you got to solve a problem. A good case in point, he just said, there are loads of people in the US, they've studied all sorts of things, but when they get to the West, they do nursing, they go to medical school, because that is the need in the system now and now and now. And that is what is going to put the food on their table. Look, it's very important that we understand the reason behind each thing we think we want. Now, in terms of investments, and this is something that I tell people, look, when you want to start with an idea, the first thing you should try and do is build with family and friends. So if your idea is moving and is gaining traction, talk to family and friends, not the time for loans, because it's not yet commercial. The more the idea is building, Osh that I spoke about, Koniku is 17 years in building that thing that he's been building. I'm sure by the time Tayo is talking to you, he didn't start off with, oh, I'm looking for investors. He's built his idea. He's proved concept before you go and start looking out for investors. You build the idea out, you ask people, family, friends, oh, what do you guys think about this idea? Do you think you have some spare cash I could use to build, promise them some shares if it's successful, but tell them you could lose the money, but be honest about it. But then when you build and you have now proved concept, people begin to see that, oh, there's revenue stream, there's something in here. Then you can begin to look for investors. You don't have to have hit success and hit 100%, hit everything you want. But the idea is that what an investor wants to see, let me tell you, is cash flow and how he's getting his money back. It's not even, some people would believe your idea. Some people, and now let me explain that I've also learned that some investors are actually there for you from the bottom. So they want you to just have the idea and they'll sit with you, build it with you, and see if something can come out of it. But most investors, I have been in that space. I've been in venture capital. Most people who want to invest in you want to see already established idea that is commercial, and they can see the revenues and see their returns, everything set. So what we do with our Lagos Innovate program is basically when people have those ideas, and there are different stages, by the way. Some are in ideation, some are already done their minimum viable product, and some are already commercial. So what we do is we allow anybody at different stages into that program. And the investor tells you what they want. So some investors will tell you, I'm only looking for viable businesses that are already doing in excess of XYZ per annum in this particular sector. And we match them. So it's also a thing of the interest of the money people. I can be building something and be knocking doors for people that are not interested in healthcare. They're not interested. They're only interested in fast-moving consumer good. I'm wasting my time talking to those kind of investors. So the idea is when you want to start looking for money for your idea, you need to do a lot of research as well. You go and look for the people who have aligned objectives with your ideas. So you are looking for people who are, so for example, I'll give another example. If you go to Acumen, who are the kind of people that have funded Partner and all of that, they are impact investors. So they're looking for people that are solving social issues. They're not interested in your profit numbers. They're more interested in the impact you have in the society. Are you solving unemployment? Are you solving environmental challenges? Are you solving things to do with what he mentioned, recycling, waste management? Are you interested in circular economy? Some investors today are only in circular economy. If you hear about Green Climate Fund, they're only interested in renewable energy. They will not touch anything fossil fuel. So if you're looking for money, your work is cut out for you as well. And looking for money is not a game, it's not a walk in the park. That's the truth. And I'll be honest with you. But I always believe that a credible idea that can stand the test of time, especially if you're building a resilient structure, will get the funding. You will definitely get the funding you need. You might start small, but as soon as, and if most of you followed the story behind Paystack, this $200 million that everybody is now making noise about. It's not the first time they are raising money, and they've raised it in bits and bobs, and now they've sold at 200 million. But it's understanding that build this idea, build it, build credibility, build your structures, governance structures around your business idea, and then begin to think about looking for money. Very important, but it's doable. And I've heard stories when you're fundraising, it's not easy, but when you've done it, it's worth it.
I want to really give you kudos for those contributions. You're going to take one more for us. The second thing, before I say the first one, is that some of the questions that are on the chat, I would like you to help me answer them later on. You know, they are very direct questions, but this is what I want you to do for me. I deduced something for what you said about retraining. You didn't say particularly, but you're a lawyer, but then, you know, you look at the need, then you go into economic sector, entrepreneurship and all that, you know, working for the state government. I see a need in the some private sector that's not into medical. What has retraining got to do, and how can I catch up? Because this is what's in the vogue right now. This is the need right now. Is that bringing me down, or is adding to me so I can quickly retrain and also just, you know, get myself positioned for the opportunity that is at stake? So, because a lot of people, I mean, they felt that, okay, I've been to university, you know, I don't need training anymore. I'm a lawyer, so how you want me to go into business? I don't need business. I'm looking for cases. I'm looking for these. Maybe I'm into family law or real estate law. That's their focus. And they see the need in the nation, but the need determines retraining. Where has that come in? I mean, we got a lot of people in Stanford that, you know, before they get to Stanford, they are medical doctors, but they want to go into business. So they have to go into, so please, can you just chip in there? Then from there, if you can help me answer some of the questions that's on the chat, that would be grateful. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you again, Doctor, and everyone listening. Look, I think something about life is you should always be a student. You must keep learning. Even if you think, oh, even if you think you've reached your bus stop, and when I mean your bus stop, you think you've gotten your certificate and you're now a graduate in whatever course, you must learn every year. You know, it's a commitment to learn something new every year. You must look, like I said, I'm a trained lawyer. Let me just give an example. I'm a trained lawyer. I have done financial statement. I've done venture capital financial analyst training. I've done project management, program management, data analysis. You are constantly learning every year. It's so important. Even doctors must attend conferences every year to know what's new. Is there a better way to do what I'm doing? Is there a new structure around what are the research that has happened in the last 12 months that can improve the work I do? It is your own, is in your hands. Look, this one, nobody can do it for you. Because if you're not learning and retraining yourself as required, you are going to become irrelevant, and they're going to throw you out one day, even if you work for somebody or you even do your own business. Let me tell you, why must businesses keep innovating? A good example, like Dr. said when we started, Zoom, we've never used Zoom. But the pandemic started and Zoom needed to immediately up their game to make sure that they could meet the demand. Can we relate to what Doctor was saying, that look, something is needed. That's where I should be playing. Literally, that's the bottom line of this whole, when you think about what Zoom did. They immediately created a better platform experience. The same thing, the competition, when they were not sleeping, Microsoft immediately created Teams with video meetings, space, everything to complement that. I've seen WebEx, it has grown because of the need now. And when you think about, let me give you a good example. Where is Nokia today? Nokia was the first phones we all bought, especially in Nigeria. For me, was Nokia 3310. Where is Nokia today? If you don't keep improving, if you don't keep innovating, if you don't keep improving the experience, even if you're supplying something to your customer and you don't improve the customer experience, somebody else will take your customer. Apple today is stealing you know what they sell? They say they sell you an experience. And who was the first, if you think about Nigeria alone, what was the first people we knew? It was Microsoft, we all knew initially, Word, Excel. But today, everybody will choose a Mac, iOS, over the Microsoft systems. It's just interesting that we must always say to ourselves, what is the need and how do I plug myself into that space? Everybody is going digital. Am I going to continue to think paper is going to work? The way checkbooks have become almost irrelevant. You can now pay with a chip in your finger. They build it in here and you can pay in some countries. So you see, it's about learning to stay on top of your game. Know what's going on in your ecosystem. Improve, learn, retrain yourself. Now, even if you've been to university, school in Nigeria, whatever it is you've done, there's no need to sit and continue to blame the education system. You now have it in your hands. And I will share something, Doctor, very quickly. I don't know how many people have heard about Coursera. Coursera is an online platform for learning. Any course you want, different universities from across the world. It has been free since the pandemic started. I'm telling you that, let me give you a good example of the numbers. 7,000 registered through LSCTF for the Coursera courses. It was free, still free till December 31st. So I'm giving you information. You could do as many courses as you want. Over 7,000 people registered. As of today, only 400 has completed any course on that platform. It's a free, do you know what kind of, the amount people will pay for those courses? On a normal day, is costing you about $100 and something per month to learn those programs, to stay online and be learning those programs. But these avenues have been created by Microsoft, by Coursera. Learn, throw yourself into it. Find those courses you can do. Take advantage of it now. Learn what you can, retrain yourself. Retrain yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. I schooled here, University of Ibadan. Born, bred, buttered in Nigeria. There's no, as in that's the truth of the matter. So, but you have to commit to it yourself. It's something you are going to do. Nobody's going to do that for you. So take your time today, go online. Don't spend your time, your internet, your data, not Instagram. Don't go and be just surfing Twitter to find who you want to. There's a word they use. They have it out for people on Twitter on certain days. Go and find those courses that would improve what you've learned and throw yourself into it. There are jobs in Nigeria, I must tell you. It's the people to fill those jobs that's the problem. And we must think also that, look, I want to employ labor. So what solution can I bring that would do that? I would answer the questions, Doctor, in the chat box, but I hope I have really helped somebody today. I hope somebody finds the information useful and they can, take advantage of what is there to improve their results. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, can we give it up? Can we give it up that you do not hide all these things from us? Thank you so very much. Go ahead and answer all the questions on the chat for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please.
I've put the address for Lagos Innovates platform online. So anybody can go in there, surf the space, see all the programs going on there as well, because there's talent development. If you just want to learn, if you want to get into a program that improves your technology or digital skills, there's talent development there. There's also the one for if you're looking for access to grow your idea, so infrastructure. You have the idea already, you don't have an office space, you need peer mentoring, you need to pair resources to help improve those ideas. That program is also there. The Idea Hub is on there. Until you get into one of those programs, we don't connect you to investors. So you have to have gone through one of our programs for us to connect you to investors. Very critical that I mentioned that. Then I think the other one, if you're not in Lagos, is difficult because our program is really for Lagos residents. And I need to say that. We're sponsored by Lagos taxpayer money. So we literally are here to support Lagos grow the ecosystem and not for people outside Lagos. However, if you send an email and there's a mentor willing to work with you, we're happy to introduce you, but understand that we are strictly for Lagos residents. Schools deal with because innovates in online there. Entrepreneurship education. I agree with you that is part of your, so if you get into some of our trainings today about skills development, but even in the skills development, we do provide an entrepreneurship education. So is 70% of the program is practical skills, 20% is theory, and then a 10% is soft and entrepreneurial skills for people. So you can also learn entrepreneurship along the way, the basics of it, because it's still about you. You learn the basics of it, and then it's what you put into practice that becomes the real deal about what you're doing with. There's no form. Okay, no, that's for you, doctor. There's a form they're asking for. Please look at Lagos Innovates website. I'm sure it answers most of your questions.
Thank you, Ms. Abisoye. Thank you. We are very grateful. We don't know how we can really reward you. We just want to thank you. Thank you for your family, your beautiful children, and then that beautiful time you spend with us. We know our time is very important, especially to business people. Time is life. Entrepreneur folk, they don't play with time because they know the value of time. Thank you for your wealth of experience and your compassion. You're not just sharing as a professional, you're really sharing from the very depth of your heart. We can see the difference, and we just hoping that next time when we call, which is going to be a couple of months' time, you're still going to be with us, because we know there's still so much that you can help us with, and not just that alone, especially in the area of network, because like we need multi stakeholders. So maybe there are some people that that can be of benefit to people. Information. And so when we reach out to you, we are hoping that we'll be able to have those assets. Thank you, and we're wishing you a very good time. Thank you, and God bless. Right there, we have someone in the drug field, pharmaceuticals, and he's also very knowledgeable. And it's going to really stand in for Mr. Bamiduro. So I'm going to invite Mr. Olabode Ekundayo, who has a lot of vast experience in drug or medical / pharmaceuticals, and also entrepreneurship skills. And it's a very great pleasure to have you be a part of this. And I have a question for you in line with with the flow that we'll be having. And the question is, what sectors do need to be prioritized? I'm talking about priority in order to see result that will lead to transformation. From the few things we've really learned, where should we, especially as far as Nigeria is concerned, where should we taper all of our energy and our skills or our development into, primarily for transformation in the Nigerian case? Please go ahead, Mr. Olabode.
Thank you so much, sir. I believe it's good afternoon or good evening. I don't know what time it is over there. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And thanks for that introduction, sir. To your question, I think Nigeria is a country that has a lot of potential. But what we lack is we have a lot of infrastructural setbacks that is really holding a whole lot of sectors. I mean, you asked a question about which sector do we need to focus on, or what do we need to do? So I think if we're able to deal with the issue of lack of electricity, if we're able to do with I know it's cliche and it's something that we're so familiar with, but literally, if we're like, for example, I am, like you rightly said, I work in a pharmaceutical company in Nigeria, indigenous company. So, and we manufacture. So, and so we pretty much, all the overhead, we in terms of generating electricity, generating our own water, we do all of that. So, but to what I was saying, if we're able to tackle the issue of electricity, then the amount of millions we are spending on diesel, amount of millions we're spending on servicing generators, on different things like that, that money could be reinvested in other things. So you can imagine other sectors like the IT sector, or name any other sector, I can bet you they are impacted by that. Then you also talk about in terms of the roads, the challenges we have with transporting, logistics. Logistics is another big sector in Nigeria now because of just that issue, that difficulty in transporting from one place to the other. So a lot of companies are looking at that. A lot of companies are looking at that and seeing how they can plug that hole. So I think Nigeria is a country with potential, but if we're able to tackle the basic infrastructural needs, I think the sky is not even the limit, really.
Okay, so thank you very much for that contribution. We're still going to have you on, and that's the key. That's the key. If we start from there today, I mean, it's going to be light is the everything. Light energy is everything, I believe so. Energy is everything. Transportation. Now, I want us to talk about what are we going to do in spite of this trouble, because now we're going to be talking about the government now, and I don't want us to be talking about the government. And now, if we talk about the government, there's no problem, because it's supposed to. It's a norm. It's a normal thing. It's not something special, or it's just something that comes with life. Energy is the key, but we know Nigeria's situation. Right. In spite of that, it's not a luxury. In spite of we don't have it, what are the sectors now that we know that we don't have that? And we're not gonna say, okay, one thing, 2030 we're gonna have electricity. I mean, even Ghana, even Uganda, all of them. So what are we gonna be doing, regardless of the fact that we don't have all those things? Roads are just been down, or maybe they will not be down. Electricity issue, we've been on this forever. What do we focus on? What do we focus on right now in terms of development, transformation?
Okay, but just to clarify, are you asking what do we need to do as a nation, or what do we need to do as individuals, private sector, youth?
Individuals, yes. How do we get into a clear tunnel in terms of, okay, I'm working in a nation where there is no electricity, constant electricity supply. I'm working in a nation where there is no good road. Now, and I have, what are the ideas? How can I invest? How can I go into creativity, innovation, so that I can survive? And I know that a lot of private sector or whatever, or private investor, from abroad, they have a problem with that. But there's something we still can do despite those problems.
What I was saying is, as an individual, we can't really separate. We have to assume that an individual has the financial capacity, financial resources to do something. Because as an individual, I can't just say, oh, I want to wake up one morning, I want to do something. You need money to do anything in this country. And I think the key thing is invest. We have to invest. We have to develop other sectors. And we can't separate that without having the financial capacity. So if we assume that as an individual, I have the financial capacity, I mean, there's so many things we can do. I think part of the issue generally that Nigeria has is, for example, we know that oil is our go-to. If anything is wrong with oil in terms of its production, in terms of its global demand or price, Nigeria's economy is disturbed, and that right there is a big problem. So we need to look at other. We need to look at other resources, other things that we can do, and to manufacture, maybe in the agricultural space. We can develop that sector, begin to export, and just we can look at so many other sectors. But I think it starts with having the financial capacity, being able to do something with money, and from there, look at what Dangote is doing with the refinery, with his investments in cement, in agriculture. He has the capacity, and with that, he's able to do so many things. So that would be my response to your question, sir.
Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to throw another question to you, but in support of that, which is one of the things you mentioned, I think things like, I don't know how we have bombarded that sector, which is entertainment industry.
Okay. That's a big one.
And also sports, which can even cause a national view. I mean, for example, a lot of people have access to videos, things that you can do with their data. Why not, create something? I mean, I saw something, I don't know, maybe you're aware of that. Some guys that did, there was a movie that came out, I think last year, Extraction, here in the United States, at Hollywood, and some young kid, get some little thing and they try to mimic that movie to the end that the people that did the movie had to really sponsor those children, get them all kinds of kits. I think very well that, our access to the digital world should create a platform for us to sell our best as an individual, regardless of the nature, regardless of the quality, but because everybody knows some of the problem that Nigeria is facing. And so, but with your passion, with trials, it might be in sports. It might be in sports, it might be in entertainment. Like you rightly said, in agriculture, I've always said that. Somebody has a land somewhere and the land is just it, and then you're connected one way or the other. Somebody, and all you just want to do is to grow vegetables. Now the world is going on veg. Everybody's kind of just watching what they eat, and all you can produce is to do green vegetables or tomatoes or whatever. And that doesn't need electricity. That needs light. A little bit of you get some people in there. It might be rough initially, and then you have a packaging system. How you can package it, and some investors. You never know. Something you start small. So, but let me throw this question to you: how can business innovation jumpstart? And they are geared towards national transformation. It's a private sector, it's an individual, but your business, your focus is for national. Yeah, and we have a lot of examples for that. So, how can businesses jumpstart into that? Maybe somebody is having something, like a seed form, like something, a business that's just very small right now. But then, how can they have a vision for this business to create a national transformation? Maybe you can give us.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm being that I'm in the pharmaceutical sector, I would have to try to rely on my knowledge in that area.
That's fine.
Currently, the company that I work for, Drugfield, is a company that actually started behind, I believe it's a flat. You know what I mean? It's in terms of manufacturing. And, the CEO was able to, grow that business to the point where now we export to several countries.
Can you give us a little bit of, so the vision was in the flat, and I believe from what you said. So how does the tenacity, the passion, the procedure, maybe there are networks, or maybe there is presentation, they sell it to the world, or maybe their marketing strategy, all those things. Can you just pull it up? You might not give us exactly, but just something stage by stage information, so that somebody can still have hope and believe that Nigeria will be great.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I think one of the things you mentioned, you said passion, and I think that is an essential ingredient, because the CEO, the founder, when he was in pharmacy school, he realized that he had a passion for manufacturing, and he pursued that educationally. He went ahead to get a master's, and began his career with he worked for Pfizer. We all know Pfizer, the leading pharmaceutical company in Nigeria. So the passion was what started everything. Then secondly, the experience. Working for a company like Pfizer, working for a company like GSK, then eventually working for a company, an indigenous company. Then, after you have gathered all that experience, then you start. You have the confidence to start, you have the knowledge, you have the passion, though there were challenges along the way, but you also received a lot of favor from the regulatory agency at NAFDAC, which we all know NAFDAC. So, and as started, and he saw that, okay, I think initially started with a few creams or ointments, and he said, wow, this is a profitable venture. Then he started to tap into his experience because he worked for Pfizer. So he was able to now go into other dosage forms, other medications. Like he started with creams, ointments, gels, tablets, capsule. Now today, 25, 26 years later, we manufacture almost all dosage forms: creams, tablets, creams, gels. So it's, it little by little. It's not, like I said, this is a company started in 1992. This is 2020, and now in 25 years, with the help of God, we've been able to grow and become a force in the pharmaceutical sector. So I think, like I said, it starts with passion, having a passion about something, be driven about something. Not only that, get the education, because you can have passion if you don't have the knowledge behind it. Then how far is your passion going to take you? After you get your education, you can't separate. Then you have to get experience if you want to go stage by stage. You have to get experience, meet people that are more knowledgeable than you. And another thing, like the CEO, he's a pharmacist by training, but if you talk to him, he knows almost anything, that whether it relates to engineering, whether it relates to manufacturing, whether it relates to quality control. Like, what I'm saying is, he didn't limit himself to his passion. He gathered knowledge, he gathered experience in other areas, because all those other sectors, whether it's engineering, we talked about having to generate electricity, whether it is analysis of your product, you have to have knowledge about chemistry, about microbiology, about in process. You have to be knowledgeable about those things. So just, I think, like I said, like I laid it out: passion, knowledge, experience, and don't limit yourself to just one area. Try to gather as much knowledge as you can, as relates to whether it's related to your business or not. You never know where that will come into play. So I think that's what I would say in terms of how an individual can sort of start a small business and turn it into a global business. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I'm just going to ask you one more question before we close. Okay, so another question is, which, I mean, really very thankful for those contributions. Very, very thankful. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about education, now education is very important. Mm-hmm. And but I want us to really bring it down to the grassroots. Now, this is a guy that the parents are not well to do. I mean, because of the economy in the country, maybe they are selling things in the market. And the product of the price, the total income of what they're selling is not even up to 10,000. Mm-hmm. This guy needs to go to school. He has to pay tuition, and then he's not able to do that. Not that he doesn't want to go to school. Even the parents are not even there. The parents are not there. I mean, the economy has already crashed everything. Is there any other way or any other suggestion, like maybe a training institute, or is there something that has to do with talent? Even if education is very important, it's very, very important. But one of the richest women in the world right now, Lakija, was not a graduate. Is there an opportunity in using our natural God-given talent, something like how to do hair, cosmetics, beautician, and manicure, pedicure, and some of those things that, can fit in, since we don't have the means to be a doctor, to be a pharmacist. We really want to do that. Right. But we want to be a politician. But I mean, we don't have means to go to school, So what can we do? Any other training? And can we sharpen our skills, God given. It's just all I know to do is just to sing. Is there something to train myself, to make myself better, and to market myself so that I can fill in the gap? And I'm not going to be given an excuse, or even a mechanic. We used to think that it's a riffraff, but I mean, if you go into developed world right now, I mean, they're making money. A mechanic, tailoring. I know one of my son-in-law is he's an architect. He has his master's, but he's making a lot of money from tailoring, from designing, a lot of money. He has to train himself, and this is his natural thing. So can you just shed some light on that? Because some people are here now, they don't even have the money to go to school. They don't have the money to go to college. You don't have the parents, you have the support. What are they going to do? So please shed some light on that, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Definitely, I think there are opportunities, for those that may not have, the financial muscle, to be able to pursue higher learning, higher education. Like you've mentioned some of the areas. Initially, we talked about entertainment industry. Some people are gifted with the gift of acting, or to the gift of making people laugh, comedy. Those areas like that. Those are areas where your gifts can really make room for you. Can really, you can find yourself, maybe you're just somewhere, and you're just, you start to show your gift, whether it is in comedy, and before you know it, a friend will say, please come and do this for my event, and you do it. You don't know who will be in that event. Before you know it, things like that, you can just shoot up before you know it. The same thing when it comes to culinary or cooking skills. You can learn. Those are things that one can learn by the way. Whether it's from your family or just from interacting with different people. Some people may just have that natural ability to be able to cook and make, and those things, they make room for you. One, it may be initially may be hard, but once you do one here, you do one there, and people start to see that, I know this. And one thing about people is people like good things. I know for myself, if I go somewhere and I taste the food, it registers in my head. If it is a comedian or what, it registers in my head. And we always want to go back to that person because we identify that person with somebody who is talented and is able to do it. So, like you said, in the area of talent, whether it's in comedy, whether it is in cooking, whether it's in the entertainment area, acting, or even in musicianship. If you are fortunate, for example, I know in the church I used to go to, Apostolic Faith, they used to train the youth in learn instruments. They actually play, they have like an orchestra. So that can be an opportunity. You don't have that doesn't require finance. You can learn from the church, dedicate yourself, master it, and you don't know where you will be. And your gift will make room for you. So I think those are some areas. And also I want to add, I think there are also, in terms of furthering education, I think there are opportunities for those that actually desire that. One just has to look, for example, the company that I work for, Drugfield, part of what we do yearly, although this year we weren't able to do it partly because of the different issues that Nigeria was facing, but they actually have a foundation and they sponsor young people, those that are going to secondary school, going to college. That foundation actually sponsors hundreds of children. So I don't want us to rule that out. There are opportunities in these other areas where if you don't have the financial resources, but also if we do some digging, some searching, we'll find that there are actually some companies that actually or that have foundations, whether they may be international multinational companies, or they could be indigenous companies that actually do these things and they actually sponsor. So that would be my contribution to your question, sir.
I want to just
Yes, sir.
appreciate that. I'll reserve one more question for you. But before then, I want to talk to everybody here as we begin to round up. Let me tell you this. Nigeria stand, a real greater time to bring out the best in everybody as I'm talking right now. this is our time. Let me tell you the reason. The reason is because anytime you see a whole lot of problem, like, difficulty, emission, pollution, waste management, and even political upheaval, youth issues and all that, whatever it is, just look at it. Any problem you see is a platform for you to rise. Delivery system in the hospital for women, transportation, light, one of somebody that that really deduced from some of the things we're teaching. All he did was, he was into mechanical engineering in one of the Eastern University, and he did a device where you can generate a cooler system of water vapor from ice. So you have a device to ice some water, and a fan can blow into it, and then you can use that, temporarily to create something like an AC, and she make an outlet. And China was able to buy into that, to produce a device. So it sold it to Chinese company, and they invested in it. I believe very strongly that this is our time to really rise, especially the youth. One of the population of youth in the entire world that's really vibrant, that's really, really challenging, is coming from Africa. And Nigeria is not playing a minimal game in there. Nigeria is an active participant there. That's why you see that many of us, because we don't have a right place to direct our energy, our brain, our passion, so we're redirecting it to something else, to some other non-productive that's indictful, like into criminals, all of those things. And there's nothing like we're condemning people, we just, that's just an empathy, because we can kind of looking at, okay, somebody has a brain, he has an idea, but he doesn't know where to divert it to. So what I want to just tell everybody that's listening is that, hey, listen, Nigeria and Africa in particular, it's our time. In fact, we have become an envy to the West. What many of you need to know that. In entertainment industry, Nigeria is number one. In many other things, in medical science, in many things you want to think, aeronautics, many things you don't know. Nigeria in business, entrepreneurship, getting there. So I want everybody, rather than just looking at everything from a negative perspective, like, okay, one thing, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is this and that, and okay, thank God for opportunity to travel abroad is good, but what's the point? You have to travel abroad, and then you get there and you don't even have anything you're doing, and all you have to do is just for you to waste the next 15, 20 years of your life trying to figure out yourself, So I want everybody to be positive, and also to see possibility, inside this, insurmountable difficulty, that something great will come out. So critical thinking, talent, taking good use of our talent, our skills. Your talent, you don't buy talent. Everybody that comes to this planet has a given talent that needs to be put down. I'm telling you, you can feed yourself, feed your family, feed your community from your talent.
Yeah.
The way we have problem managing waste. Can you sit down one day and think about what you can do, no matter how small that can be?
Very true.
With the prevalent transportation issue and the traffic issue, especially in Lagos, you see what Mr. Bamdro was able to bring out of that. Rather than use Okada for this, and then they begin to do a speedy delivery and register that, provide jobs for many people. We have a problem with incineration, with smoke. Can somebody come up with something? We have a problem with little children, from neighboring countries filling our cities, going into begging. Can somebody think about education for young children? People that want to go into you're very smart. in mathematics, you're very smart in physics, you're very smart in writing, in comprehension, and you know some children, you know, can you begin to gather them together and see what can organize something in terms of training, in terms of after school program, you know, for just some children that needs help in sitting for their WAEC exam or other exam or the other university entrance exam, instead of wasting 1 year, 2 years, just be wasted. So I believe very strongly that there is a lot of prospect for all of us, for all Nigerians, you know, in the middle of this economic upheaval. We can continue to talk government. Now, Rwanda is not as big as Lagos. It's a nation. It's a nation in East Africa. Rwanda presently right now, as I'm talking, is Africa's Singapore. Singapore was in trouble. Singapore was in trouble. But when Singapore put their hearts together, Singapore is one of the cleanest nations in the world today. It's an Asian nation. You all know it, Singapore. Now they are rating Rwanda as one of the cleanest nation in Africa right now because of their street, and they adopted everything they did from Singapore. You know, so and they had problem. You know, the racial problem. You know, in Rwanda that killed almost 1 million people. But it's a new story now. Investors are there right now, 24/7. Like you can't drop a single paper on the street of Rwanda. You cannot. A lot of Nigerians are doing well there. You know, in South Sudan, you know, that newest nation now up to like 10 years that we have South Sudan. I mean, a lot of people go in there, they begin to, they're into building business, you know, selling cement, selling all kinds of hardwares to build and reconstruct that nation. You know, so in every problem, I like everybody that's listening to take note of that. Any problem you see is your opportunity. You know, when there is war, there are people making money. They wouldn't want the war to stop. They're making a lot of money. They're producing these. You know, now the vaccine company in the West right now is into billions. To them, COVID is a blessing. It's a blessing to them because the governments are begging them. Pfizer, all of them, you know, AstraZeneca, all of them, they're begging them and saying, oh my, I'm telling you, you know, this is great for us. You know, people making masks, people making gloves, people making sanitizers, not doing it in a crafty way. You're not going to make something that's going to kill somebody. You're not going to, you know, give somebody a medication that's already, that's already expired. That's not what I'm talking about. Creative, analytical, and it depends on how you create your own, how you think. There are a lot of ways. It's sanguine. Everybody have their own different sanguine, how you think, you know. So some is analytical, some is critical, but just produce result. Let people come to you to be bringing their money. It's not about you making money. Produce what people want to buy or they cherish or they want. Make it the best. Make it affordable. Start from a small level. Small. You had what Mr. Olabode was saying, that the business is what the company is working for. Start from a flat. Start from somewhere. Everything you have right now is a tool. It's a kit for you. If you have your life is a tool for you. Your life is a tool for you. Some is your beauty is a tool for you. Your beauty. I'm not saying we should be going into things that's not supposed to be doing as a normal human being. I mean, you want to teach people how to look good on their wedding, something like that. You know, it's just something, just something that you know that this is your creator. Give this to you, your God-given talent, your voice. You know, you have so much gift in making people happy. People need to be happy. I'm telling people are going through a whole lot of hell, and people going through trouble in the world. They need to be happy. They need to be joyful. And so and it's coming from your inside. And before you know it, you are being recommended, and only the sky is no limit for you. So, and why others in the nation, they are complaining, the government, the policy, this and that, you are thriving. And you're not only thriving, you are creating employment, you are creating jobs, you are creating opportunities, you're just blossoming. And you start small, and you are dogged about it. You are visionary about it, and you are marketing the way you present yourself, how you market yourself, how you present, the packaging of your vision that will attract investors, and management of things. You need to know how to manage your life, management of your time. Everybody has 24/7. What are you doing with your 24 hours? What am I doing with my 24 hours? Can you go into just even providing information for people? Information. I know somebody, all she does is to provide information on how people can go into to study abroad. And the studying abroad right now is almost going to be extinct. You know the reason? The reason is because we have online opportunities right now. So the West will be telling you, sorry, you don't need a visa. You want to come and study? You don't need a visa. We have online masters, online BSc, online BA. And so COVID has brought that. COVID has brought that. Economy has brought that. And so everybody needs to sit down together, and see. I mean, now, let me say this. I don't want to take time. I know we have a couple of minutes to go. Now, you're smart, okay? Why do you want to waste your time not to tap into being smart? You're very smart in science. You're very smart in arts. You're very smart in whatever department you are. Be the best. Be the best. You will not you will not be the person begging for scholarship. Colleges will be begging for you because you got what they have. I mean, you're a first-class person in the department of geology, in the history department, in the department of biochemistry, first class, man. And you want to tell me you just be, no, opportunities will be open for you in Canada, Ontario, in the US, in Britain. I mean, just for you being studious, Oh, we want to really sponsor or give a scholarship to somebody with a fourth class. I don't think maybe there's anything called a fourth class or third class or whatever it is like that. So whatever your hands find doing, do it well. There is an opportunity for you. Please listen to this. You don't have to be an object. You don't have to be a loser. We are now going to be talking negative. What we are talking, what has been deposited and delivered to us is what we are saying. Oh, Nigeria is bad. Oh, we can't do it. And in that same Nigeria, people are investing in real estate. They are building. They are progressing without the government, without stealing. You just had Mrs. Abisoye talking to us right now. She's a lawyer, but she's not limited. In that same Nigeria, oh my God, that's what God wants for you and I. That's what our Creator wants for us. So that in the middle of it all, you can thrive, and not just you. You be a help to somebody else. You provide job for somebody else. Look at the delivery system. You go to ShopRite to buy things. They will deliver it at your doorstep. So the middleman is there, the Taxify person or whoever is doing that. DoorDash or whoever it is. They'll pick the merchandise you bought online, digital. Nobody's going like, okay, the cash. It's a cashless environment right now. You order for what you need, and they deliver it to you with bike or in your area within the next hour. I mean, and that is something small right now. It's going to go big. Creativity is something you start for yourself. You sit down, you create. And there is a creative nature in all of us, because the God who made us is a creator. So we are also to create for people to be blessed. Okay? But innovation is to build on what somebody has created. I know someone that I spoke to, how he became a millionaire in Nigeria was through car wash. He was washing cars on the street. And I told him, listen to me, you don't need to wash cars on the street. I'm going to set you up. I don't need anything from you. I mean, I can set people up and I will need something. I'll be a stakeholder there. I don't need anything. Now, rent a place. How much do you need? Get a little thing you are selling. Why people are waiting? You're washing their cars, like you're washing their cars. It's going to take them 20 minutes. Can you play something for them on the video? Can you have something to sell, like key order, like videos, like, something that instead of 20 minutes them sitting down, they can also walk towards your little thing that you set up. They can buy that thing from you, and it's just, before you know it, the guy became a millionaire. People are rushing, lines to wash cars. He began to employ other people that will wash the car. Before you know it, manual washing. He was manually washing it. It becomes technology. He got all this thing, from China that we wash the car, and people are, and he's striving today. He's been to different kind of the world. He doesn't even need anybody to say, and he has employed so many people. He started small. He wasn't working. He wasn't waiting on government. He wasn't cussing out the government. He did not say, oh, Nigeria is bad. Wait, the Nigeria that is bad, you can't get anything good there. The Nigeria is, oh, Nigeria is bad. And you are sleeping in that Nigeria. The reason why we will not have electricity until we change what we are saying. NEPA is cursed. That's what we keep saying. Look at Ghana. Look at Ghana. Look at all the other West African nations that surround us. But everything, the government is bad. Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is terrible. NEPA is bad. And it's true. But it's not everything that is true that is the truth. Because it's bad does not mean it's bad for you. It's not bad for you. It's not bad for you. It's not terrible for you. It depends on which side did you see it from. The same Nigeria is where people come to the West, they go to London, they go to, and they buy houses. And Naira Marley, he lives in a mansion in London. The same Nigeria. All he's selling is culture. He's selling Fela's song culture. I don't listen to him, but I can learn something there that you can learn too. He's eating his talent. He's not trying to be somebody else. And his talent make way for him. What are you doing with your life? Stop complaining and grumbling about things that are not, because the more you complain, the more you complicate things. It won't change. You have to be the one to enforce it. And your primary goal must be to help the community and to transform the nation. Your own passion and obedience will bring job to somebody. And it's an exponential growth. As they too also get that, they'll be helping somebody else, they'll be helping somebody else, they'll be helping somebody else. And if we all can have that, even if we are little, before you know it, it's a microcosm. We begin to sell all that, sell all that, sell all that, sell, and you can imagine what will happen. Nigeria is faced with this deforestation now. It's part of our global crisis. We've cut all trees down to make wood, to make fire. The result of that. So what can somebody do? Can we have a champion that we begin to talk about? Plant one tree. Plant a tree when you cut one down. Because you don't know the impact of those emissions. Those fuels. We don't know the impact in the environment. Those are the things that I believe that all of us can benefit from. I don't know, maybe Olabode has something to say more. And one thing that, if you don't, I'm going to just run it up by saying that. And that's a question. It's a rhetorical question. Does Nigeria have the capacity to become a transformed state? With all this prevalent problem, so all of these beautiful people that are on this platform, can they see Nigeria or have a vision of a transformed Nigeria. I mean, I'm not talking about all the way from 1904, 1907, whatever it is, 1914, 1960, 2000, the millennium. We spent the first 2 decades, 2020. Look at people, look at Nigeria, look at where we are. Do Nigeria have a prospect for a transformed Nigeria, a vision? And let me say this again before we answer that and just close on that. Don't forget that we have a program coming up. That's about investment, banking industry. We have people from, MD and CEOs from banks, who want to, just tell us how investors are interested in your talent and whatever. And we really want to give that out. Some people want to invest in your talent. If they find that you have a good idea, business idea, they really want to put money in there, and invest in what you're doing. It's not anything closed, it's open. You're going to present what you want to do, but there are conditions you have to meet, which is one of them is to to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, invite people, because this is just selling what we're doing to a lot of people. So please make sure you follow and join YouTube channel, subscribe, and it's going to be to your own advantage. So let me end by this. Nigeria is going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. You know why? Because of the trouble. Let me say this to you. Why will the thief come to your house? Why will an armed robber come to your house? Why? If you don't have anything. The thief is just wasting his time. He's wasting his time. He's wasting his safety. He's wasting his guns because your house is empty. You don't have anything. You are living in an empty house. So if the thief knock your door to come and steal, he's only wasting his time. You just tell the thief, you want to steal anything? Steal me. Come, check it. Check there. Did you see? I don't have anything. So the question is this. Why do you think the devil or whoever is the force that caused negative, why is he interested in Nigeria? It's because Nigeria has so much treasure and potentials loaded. And the treasure is not a thing. You are the Nigerian treasure. You are the Nigerian treasure. We've been misdirected. Many of us have thought that the government will solve our problem, and we realize no, the government is a stepping ground, a facilitator. Many of us even think religion will solve our problem. We realize it's not just being religious. We thought it's a religion. We had forgotten that the success of Nigeria is in the hands of Nigerians. When you look at the other nations, they are more patriotic than any other thing. Some of us, we are more religious than we are as a Nigerian. We want to say, my religion is this. If they say, who are you? I am this, I am this, I am that. Hardly can you find people in our days that will say, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. We're not even taught to do that. Many of us don't even know the history of our nation. I don't know how in depth that is in our curriculum. Our forefathers, the people that colonized Nigeria, the people that fought for independence. Do we know all that? But we know more of other countries. We don't even know nothing. And when you don't know where you're coming from, you will not know where you are going. And yet, we are the envy of the world. We don't know what we got. So, you are the treasure of Nigeria. You can do it. You can make it. You can be an employer because you know there's no job. You are the one that will bring the solution. You and I, we are the one that will do it. Please, let's believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in what I'm saying. In the middle of darkness, believe. Everybody, all these panelists, they also had troubles, but they made it through. Be dogged in your passion. Don't be sidetracked. Don't be sidetracked. Do something that will affect other people. Let your vision be something that will make somebody else smile. Please. Something that will change the nation for good. Without violence. Without war. And we can all live in a better Nigeria. That's what Aesda is for. It has worked and is proven to be effective in other African nations, and it will work in Nigeria. And you are going to be the one that will bring it home. So please help. You know, in your family, you're very smart in math. Call those young folk together. Begin to teach them. They lag behind in mathematics. They lag behind in physics. Do something to change somebody's life. And you can imagine the turnover, how that will impact your life. It's not only just being religious. Religion divides us. You know, racial thing divide us. Our commonality is the problem. What unites us is the problem. We all have the same problem. It's not that the North has electricity and the West don't have it. It's not that the South has money and the West don't have it. What brings all of us together is not even sports anymore. It is now problem. So what do we do with that? We all unite to bring solution to the problem for your sake, for the sake of your children, for the sake of your children's children's children. Our forefathers, they were not generational. They don't think about their children. So we are born to inherit problems. We are born to inherit problems. We inherited problems. Problem we don't know nothing about. We inherited bad roads, bad governance, bad politics, bad polity. You know, we inherited poverty. We inherited no electricity, no energy, waste. I mean, zero management skills. We inherited all those problems. We have here 17-year-old, 20-year-old who, when the day they started talking, it's all about problem. Who will change it? You think America will change it? America has its own problem, has our own problem. You think England will change it? Our former colonial master, you think they're going to be the one to change it? You think the politician will be the one to change it? Oh no, you make a mistake. Make no mistake about it. The one that will change it is you. Is that you want to check that out? Check that out in South Korea. You want to check that out? Check that out in India. India was terrible, but today, India is rated as one of the developed nations in the world, despite their problem. You know, their population is in billions, and they are not all that, you know, I'm going to this and that in terms of religion. Same thing in South Korea. The GDP of South Korea now, you can't mess with it. You are the hope of Nigeria. You are the hope of Nigeria. I am the hope of Nigeria. So we're going to be getting back per integrity regarding the first runner-up and second and third regarding the essay. Everybody wrote beautifully, you know, from our reviewers. You all make a very great impact. You know, that's very good. So if you're not awarded, you can do better. We appreciate all of you, but we're going to have that announced. You're going to go to our website, see that. Instagram, we carry that out. But the biggie, and I'm saying this again, is the next program that is coming. It's about investment. It's about investors, about the bankers, and some people that they're just compassionate and they want to help you. They want to help me. They want to help you and say, okay, you have this talent. I'm going to put this down, but there are conditions. What are the conditions? You know, it's not far from the previous condition. Subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Instagram, check out, you know, website, whatever it is, and resources, email to subscribe to our newsletters. And I think one key thing is to make sure you invite 5 people that'll be a part of the program. I think that's one of the key things too, because that's big. That's all. There's not any other special thing. So guys, on this note, we want to thank everybody. And also special thanks to our panelists, Mrs. Teju Abisoye, and we thank Mr. Olabode Ekundayo, who on an impromptu basis, did not shy from just want to chip in one or two things that's very beneficial that we all learn from. And from all of you, we want to say we appreciate you on behalf of Africa Entrepreneur and Socio-Economic Development Association. We are very grateful that you're able to turn in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless Africa. Thank you.